Here we go. All right. Should be live here in just a second. Click on StreamYard. We're good to go. Webinar Jam. We should be any second here. There we go. Now we're live. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, good seeing you as always. Happy Monday. This is kind of our, this is our last one of these, at least for right now.
Well, it's time to head to northern Idaho for bears. So
right. Yeah. Good timing. Yeah, no joke. Do you go this week?
Next week.
Nice. There we go, man. That'll be a blast. But yeah, but I've been the last 3 weeks of this has been really fun with you. So appreciate everybody who's followed along. I see people starting to join here. We've got Ken, Ed, Scott. Awesome. I recognize some of those names from people who turned in that final homework. Oh, there's Darren Boom. Nice. There we go. Love it. Hey, Darren. Nice. We were talking about him on the last live, how it was great to hang out with him in person. So
Darren's
love to see people jump in here. Welcome. Yeah, like I was saying, this weekend we had a lot of family time. Like I said, we're dealing with a couple of sick kids, but they still had their first T-ball games. So, we between juggling them between sports and family and everything, it was a chaotic weekend in the best way, So
yeah, I love it. My little boy had his first soccer game last Thursday. Actually, his first official sport thing.
Nice.
And I didn't play any soccer. And my wife's Brazilian, so it's in his blood. It's like he came out eating rice and beans and wanting to be a soccer star. It's like there was been no outside influence, dude. And so funny. But dude, he's a little athlete. He's like a foot taller than everyone. Like he's scoring goals left and right. It's like, what the heck? It was
That's
so
amazing.
fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. Raising kids is awesome, isn't it?
Oh, it's the best. It's the absolute best. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, for sure. T-ball, and then I think I told you the whole American Ninja Warrior show, but for 2, 4, and 6-year-olds, like that. Those two things, Little Ninja Warrior and T-ball, have been just the world for them. It's been a blast.
Dude, the Little Ninja Warrior is such a great thing too, because they learn to do hard things and be physical, and it's fun for them, I'm sure.
Dude, they're in. I mean, my 6-year-old's in crazy shape, just from doing it. It's somewhere between. I've been telling them it's somewhere between kind of gymnastics and a playground. But I took them to playgrounds their whole life growing up, and who knew I was training them for this? So there you go. But well, welcome everybody. Glad we could see people starting to jump on here. I know if you can jump in the chat and say where you're watching from, that's always great. We love to see, people have met up, future business partners from doing this. If you can jump in the chat and say where you're based out of. We've had people, literally do JV deals, teaming up from this kind of stuff. So make sure to say where you're watching from. Excited to do this today. I know I was mentioning to Zach, this is the last one of these for this time through the challenge together. It's been a blast the last 21 days here. I know this is something that let me try to. Here we go. This is something that I know we've had quite a few people jump in, finish the homework. It's been super inspiring to see people take action from this and run with this playbook that Zach has given us. If you're just watching for the first time or you're watching a replay right here, make sure to go to zackchallenge.com. And on there, you'll be able to register for the email list. And tomorrow, we're going to send out all the replays. So if you have not gotten the replays yet, make sure you're on that list. We're going to send all that out tomorrow, from week 1, week 2, week 3. Today, we're going to do a little bit of a recap as well, kind of going through what you missed. If you haven't been on these yet, if you have been on these, this time through, hopefully you can pick up a couple pro tips, a couple things to implement into your business that you maybe didn't get the first time through. Because I know each of these, we throw a lot of information at you. So we're going to do a quick recap of the challenge of that training. We'll go into the giveaway. We have a huge, grand prize giveaway we're doing live on here today. So, and again, you have to be on the live here, actually on here to be able to claim it and be eligible for it. So, I'll be going through and we're gonna be calling names. And if they're on here, they win. If not, we'll move on to the next one who did the homework. So we're gonna be doing that giveaway, and then we'll wrap up here with Zach being able to kind of give his thoughts and advice on hey, how to take this momentum that you've built the last 3 weeks, last 21 days here, and keep going. and roll that into your business and roll that into your efforts moving forward. So Zach, did I miss anything there? Anything else you wanted to cover, man?
Nope, not really. Just kind of a recap and then Q&A, right? So
Yep. Awesome. So kind of going through this just to keep it going. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations if you're on this and you've followed us along through this whole thing. Like, regardless of if you've landed a deal so far or not, you have done you've put the right processes in place to go land that first deal. You understand the playbook, you know where to go from here, you know exactly what to be doing in terms of the right activities that's going to lead to a deal for you and lead to long-term success for you. So one, congrats on making it through all that effort. We challenged you by putting out, I mean, literally, like, it's a challenge for a reason. We've put out hard homework assignments for you guys to get through and do this to get to that first deal. And, it's awesome to see, the people who have gone through that, who have made it, who have, filled up my inbox with them submitting their homework and following along with this thing. So congrats to all of you who have gone through that. I know over here at DealMachine, our mission is to give everyone the power of real estate investing. And Zack, again, is our go-to coach when it comes to driving for dollars and being able to teach this method. So it's been really, really cool to team up with him, see his curriculum, how Zack has trained us and laid this out for us. And then we tried to pair that with DealMachine to make it more efficient, more effective throughout this whole thing. But right now, it's just such an exciting time to be getting into this. Like, I know we've touched on this each training, but there's more opportunity now than you've seen in the last 10, 15 years. Like, Zack, can you maybe talk about that for a minute too? I know we talked about this on the challenges before, but to just explain to people like why now is such a good time to be thinking about this, be getting into this, be going through this challenge.
because it's raining money, man. It is raining money. It's kind of fun. We have I've only ever done one 6-figure deal in 5-6 years of wholesaling, and I have 2 closing. I have one closing this tomorrow. Actually, it's actually closing today and funding and recording tomorrow. It's $110,000. I have another one that's closing, I think second week of May. I think is the closing date on that one, and I think that one's about 107. So, those are great deals, but we should do probably double that I've ever done as far as revenue when it comes to real estate wholesaling. So what happened is last year we had crazy hikes in interest, right? And I mentioned this before, and the affordability that when it comes to houses is not just the price; it's what people's payment is, right? What people can qualify, what they can make on a monthly payment, because pretty much everyone buys a house with a mortgage. So if you increase the interest rate, that increases the amount on the payment if the price stays the same. So essentially, the interest rates increase the house prices, right? And so it just made it where house prices needed to come down a little bit to meet what people could afford and what the market could sustain. It basically just shifted who was getting paid, right? Who was getting the money? It was the federal government increased interest rates, right? It's like, well, that's where the money's going to now, not so much on the homeowners. So I don't understand why or how or who gets to say if this happens. I do understand that it's a way for our government to regulate inflation and the economy, right? It's a lot bigger picture than I understand. I don't pretend to understand it. I just understand what happens and the effects and how it affects us, right? So let's just say this. With that being said, there was a lot of people that were hurt last year financially when it comes to flippers and even wholesalers. I know of a couple guys here in my market who have gone out of business. So what does that mean? It means that there's less people reaching out to find sellers and trying to help sellers. It's also increasing the demand for people that need help and creative solutions to their problems. So we have less people solving problems, and we have more people needing help with their problems with real estate, which equals success for the people that are willing to do the work. It doesn't make it easier to, do the work. You still have to hustle. You still have to drive. You have to market. You have to talk to people. You have to go on appointments. You still have to work your butt off, but there is more reward for that time and effort that you put in. Without increasing our marketing, we should see about 150% growth. but it's made sense for me to triple my marketing expense. That's how optimistic and how much I'm seeing that I'm literally tripling how much I'm spending. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm doing exactly what you guys are trying to do. Like there has never been a better time, truly. And since probably 2009, 2010, right? There's never been a time like this economically for us to get started.
Absolutely. And to even echo on to that, I mean, we talked about this, each week as well, but, in general, as a wholesaler or an investor, but really, especially as a wholesaler, we become more valuable in any kind of time of slowdown, downturn, uncertainty. Like we are offering certainty. We are fixing problems for people. And in an economy like this, there are going to be more problems out there to fix, more problems to solve. And if you were on the last one, especially, Zack did an amazing breakdown of talking about like, hey, here are the objections you hear. Here's how you think through a win-win scenario. Here's how you really align yourself with the seller and show them that you genuinely care about them and are trying to solve their problem. That is what is so valuable right now, is there are more problems to solve out there than again, like you said, the last, since the 2009, really. So it's such a good time to be thinking about this. Where most people, and again, for us today, like we were really focused on helping you step up, take action. And over these last 3 weeks, why most people don't get started as investors, they just don't know where or how to find that first deal, how to find that great deal, how to buy right. Regardless of what your exit strategy is, buying right is the common factor for success across all of it. This challenge showed you how. That was our goal with this, is how do you find those deals where people are willing to trade you solving a problem, for a discount, for equity, for a great deal. And going into this, I mean, we talked about like Ryan Haywood here, he was somebody who did a 30-day challenge. On day 17, he got his first deal under contract. He did 72 wholesale deals using DealMachine in 2020 and has done 400 since then. So he's a great example of somebody who we've taken this playbook from and who, really focused on breaking down this driving for dollars, step-by-step process. Is from people like Ryan. It's from people like Enzo right here, who he's not just doing wholesaling, he's doing wholesaling plus flipping plus buying and holding. So regardless of your strategy, he's doing this exact same process as well. Patrick Martin, he's another one that we talked about, where he's somebody who was literally sleeping in his truck and found on YouTube, found some info about real estate, discovered DealMachine and changed his life by wholesaling. So it's people like this that we've taken this playbook from, and that Zack has stepped up. And Zack, I mean, do you want to talk about the people that are behind you on that wall right there? Like, it's what you're teaching them is what you're sharing some of that in this challenge as well.
Yeah. So this section is foundation. This section is they've started their marketing. This section is their working leads, and the section behind the door, this is the exciting one.
It's getting too big.
Yeah, it's getting out of control. See this section, there's a lot of sticky notes and stuff. Those are people that have deals under contract pending close, right? And then the best part of all of it, hold on, I got to unplug stuff. I'll drop my computer. Can y'all see the success wall?
So those are yes.
Yep. Can you see that?
Yep, gotcha.
Yep, those are the students that have gone from there to there to there to there and out onto the success wall and close their first deal. So it works, right? I mean, it works.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, you literally just got off a coaching call right before this, right?
Yeah, I do a coaching call. Well, I was on a team meeting, but I do coaching call, team meeting for the coaching business, and then here. So yeah, I mean, but I've had, dude, I could show you my phone. I've got, who have I been talking to today? So these are students that have deals on the line. Francisco and his business partner, I've talked to them, has a dirt on the line or a deal on the line. JC's has a deal on the line. Chris Ramos has a deal on the line. So those are all one-on-one calls I've done today with my students. So just so far today.
Yeah. There you go, man. So Zack is so, and one, you're just such a genuine dude to be able to come on and like really share all this entire thing with us, in terms of the playbook from these last 3 weeks. So make sure to go back and rewatch those. We'll recap a little bit today, but Zack, your passion for how you're helping people always shines through when I do these with you. So again, wanted to thank your time for coming on and teaming up with us and giving back so much. So
Yeah, and I want people to understand why too. Like, and I appreciate you saying that, but like like I legitimately care. I remember like what it feels like to grind every day. Like you have to. You don't have a choice. Like you have kids, you have a wife, you have these responsibilities that are more important to you than your own life, right? You would give your life gladly for theirs. And it sucks because so many of us, and I was in that position where you work and you're working for them, but since you're working so damn much and working so hard that the time that you do have with them, you're half dead, right? You're so damn tired. You don't have the patience you would want to have. You give your best at work for your kids, but then when you're with them, there's nothing else. And then there's nothing else for anything beyond that either, right? You're slowly dying every day. And it's a horrible place to be. It's a horrible place to live. And I was there for a long time. Right. I built a window cleaning business for a decade and I was no better off than day one, right? With my mental state, with our financial stability. And, you know, I had a coach that cared like I do. And he gave me the action steps. I obviously did the work. I mean, I didn't get there without doing the work, but he cared enough to answer my questions and to be there. And that's why I do it, because I guarantee you there's people on this wall and out on that success wall that I've given to them what Tom Kroll gave me, and they're going to be able to do the same for others. And maybe they won't teach wholesaling, but they'll find a way to give back and make a contribution that's only been possible because of me and because of my mentor, right? Like everything's been done before, and I want that to be the legacy. That's why I'm doing this stuff, right? So, yeah, with that being said, follow all my social media content too, because if you guys have had value, there's tons of value there as well. The podcast, the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those places.
Love that. Yeah. And saw Jonathan jumped in the chat, said, awesome. Lots of people lives changed on that wall. That is absolutely true. So
very much true.
Zack,
very much. Guys, I've had plenty of moments where I've broken down in tears because of what has happened because of this journey that I've been on. And I've been so frustrated. I've wanted to quit coaching so many times because honestly, it sucks. Like it is, I don't have to do this. And I put so much effort into this and so much time from this. And I make so much money from real estate that it's like I really don't have to be here. But there's moments where like I'll get a text from someone and it's like, yep, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it. So lots of lives, guys. Like it's pretty cool. I feel like I get like this huge fulfillment from coaching, and then I make a lot of money from real estate. I get my cake and I eat it too, if that makes sense.
That's awesome, man. I love that. So we'll make sure after we do this quick recap, we'll leave some time for questions. I know you guys, again, I have a lot of people on the line here who have been going through the homework. Again, maybe you did a deal, maybe you haven't, maybe you got stuck somewhere. We'll leave some time for questions. So please line those up in the chat. We'll be able to, I'll try to facilitate those as we go through all this for you guys too. And then, after that, we'll go through and do that final grand prize giveaway for everybody on the line here. So, throughout this whole challenge, again, make sure to watch those replays if you have not seen them yet. We hosted 3 live trainings. So week 1 was all about building your list. Again, we'll recap these briefly today. Week 2 was about marketing to that list. And then week 3 was about overcoming objections, working your pipeline and really starting to close deals by making really great offers. So make sure to go back through those. By the end of this, we'll have given away over $3,500 in free stuff to you guys. And, today it's going to be an $1,850 grand prize giveaway. It's technically like $1,876 or something like that in terms of worth. So a lot of opportunity today. Somebody's going to be winning an awesome grand prize. The real prize here is getting deals, is going out there, doing that first one and many after this. So, you going through this process, you having grinded through this, you, like Zack said, you put in the work. We're challenging you to put in that work. You going through that and getting that foundation under place, getting the right systems and processes set up so that way you have long-term success. That's the real grand prize here. But anybody who wins these giveaways, I mean, you're obligated to run with this, guys. Like you are all set up for having that toolkit to be able to go, land that first deal and many after it. So make sure they don't go to waste. The live trainings recap, we'll go through this here real quick. Zack, do you want to just kind of briefly, and anything you talk about, I can show off in DealMachine really quickly here, but You know, at the risk of repeating yourself too much, do you want to quickly kind of go through each week for people here?
Yeah, I would love to try and get through this. Let's try and like outline a time frame to make sure we have enough time for Q&A. I'd love to give about 20 minutes for Q&A. Is that good, Matt, you think?
Yeah, I mean that would be great if people have that many questions. That would be awesome. You know, we really want to give people that opportunity though. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. So we'll try and recap in 20 minutes then.
Yeah, recap in 10 to 20 minutes. That'd be perfect. So.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't get too long-winded. I have a tendency when we start talking real estate, I get all excited and I won't shut up. So here we go. Okay, building your list for motivated sellers, right? When I use DealMachine, there's a couple features, right, that I mentioned. I want to make sure I'm using the tap to add version. So when you get in, actually, let's do the first thing. The first thing that you do is if you click on the little map button top left, right? And this is on your phone version when you're out driving.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click on that little tab, you can either do crosshair mode or tap to add. Make sure you do, there it is right there, tap or pin mode or tap to add, right?
Yep.
They used to have a crosshair mode. Did you guys get rid of that?
It's a little different in mobile.
Oh, it's in mobile. Okay. And then the other thing was when you're out in the area and you want to track your route, you're going to hit start drive and end drive. And this is very important to do because it's going to highlight those streets. It's going to color coordinate them for when you were in that area. So, you know, a huge mistake is to go drive for 2 weeks 2 weeks of the year and you build a list and then you market to that list. What's more important is to stay consistent, to have a set goal of anywhere between 200 to 2,000 properties every single week. And that's what you add each week. And then you reach out to that list that you're building. So you're better off to only market to 1 to 200 properties a week. And then, you know, stay consistent to that week over week over week. And we'll redrive our better areas every 6 months. And so that's why the color coordination is so important. That's why the hit and start drive and end drive is so important. The other reason too is once you start hiring people, they'll be able to see the areas they're supposed to drive. It'll already be mapped out where they need to go drive according to the colors on the map, right? The stuff that doesn't have any routes driven, they're not going to drive those areas. Or if you want them to keep driving fresh areas where there's no, lines on the streets, that's where you can send them.
Yeah, I will really mention here, guys. See the green right here is what Zach's talking about. You know, the route tracking that I've done here. And then if you do have a driver you add, if you're on DealMachine Pro, you can click up here, go to team and add a driver and you know, give them driver permissions only. So Elliot here is just adding leads for me. And when he's doing that, I can actually see all of his past routes and say like, hey, yeah, show me all of the routes that he's driven. And then when I click on that, like Zach had mentioned, you can see exactly where they drove, what are the exact leads he added, you know, what's the specific area he drove, and it'll show you exactly, you know, how long it took and all of that too. So if you're doing it with other people in your account, that's what it's going to look like. But
yeah, beautiful.
Anyway, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, beautiful. So when it comes to driving, remember we talked about the efficiencies. You should be sitting somewhere between 30 and 100 properties every single hour of driving if you're driving the right areas and the right criteria, right? We talked about those areas, median house price. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but one of my favorite long-term ways is to see where your competition are doing deals, right? Get on the other wholesalers in your areas, get on their cash buyers list. To find them, you can Google sell my house fast in Houston if you live in Houston. And all those people that pop up top ranked Google keywords for sell my house fast, those are your wholesalers for the most part, right? Some of them might be flippers, but call them and say, hey, do you guys wholesale any of your deals? I want to be added to your cash buyers list. They'll blast out their deals. And if there's deals in particular neighborhoods, there's more deals. I guarantee it. And they're just missing them because they're doing blanketing marketing for the most part, right? They're not doing very niche focused, you know, high intensity to a select few houses in that area. So, you know, we did that. We figured out where the deals are being done here in Utah. All of our competition, there's a handful of zip codes, and we've taken all of our marketing dollars that we had spread out all over the place and just laser focused on those areas. And it's making a huge difference financially for us. So we talked about that and the importance of marketing where the deals are. So that's kind of the main recap of building a list. And remember the importance of this, and the homework was set a goal of how many properties you add each week. And we suggested at least 200, but you got to stay consistent to that, right? Like you guys aren't going to have success by adding 200 properties and never driving again. You have to consistently add properties, consistently doing the marketing, right? Remember, it's a funnel. Top end of the funnel is driving and reaching out to those owners, and then eventually deals will fall through, but you have to have that top end of that funnel open. But think about it. If you open the funnel, maybe some deals will fall through, and then if you don't drive the next week, you're closing the funnel. So how are you going to make money, right?
Yep. The only thing, Zach, I was going to mention really quick here, the only things that we may have touched on here as well is the highlights button is, great for just kind of layering data over the map right here. So, if you click on highlights, you have a ton of different filters that you can look at in terms of, saying like, hey, show me vacant properties around me, show me foreclosure statuses, hot neighborhoods, assumable mortgages, senior owners, things like that, where I can just click on that and be able to apply that to my map as well to really, again, first and foremost, you're looking for physical distress, but having those highlights can also help you identify blocks of opportunities, And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was this top right button. When you hit start driving, you can do virtual driving for dollars inside DealMachine, which again, Zach, for sure, I know you talk about like, hey, in-person driving is always preferred for sure. But if you're going to,
don't do it.
This is, it's just one feature that if you're like, say you're in a market, if for whatever reason you're dead set on investing in a market you're not physically located in, this could be an interesting option to approach. We have good case studies.
Hire a driver.
There you go. That for sure.
I promise it's worth every penny. Let's actually talk about that, right? This is an option, and this is a cool option, and great. Can you make money off of it? Yes. But guys, think about this. If I redrive and mark a neighborhood every 6 months, I literally delete all the old data and redrive, skip trace. I want the freshest data. We might only get 10 to 20% new data and new houses in that area. But why? Because I have tested it, and the accurate data and staying on top of the accurate data outweighs the cost to get a new set of data. So with the Google Street View, you're going to have those houses that have been shit for a long time and they still are crappy, and you can make money off the list. I'm not saying it doesn't make money, but it's kind of like going to PropStream, right? Kind of competition of DealMachine and buying a list from them. Well, that kind of, to me, defeats the purpose of building a list of houses that are distressed right now. It's more blanket marketing. It's more broad marketing. You're putting out marketing in the best areas doing virtual driving for dollars. So you are going to make money, but your profit margin will be less. You're better off to hire someone to go drive. The cool thing about DealMachine, though, is the route tracking and the back-end analytics to be able to see their work, right? We could even talk compensation for a driver. Maybe that would be an additional thing that we could cover today is how do you do that? If they want to hire, and how do you manage? How do you hire? How do you find them? How do you compensate them? I mean, we could go into that too.
Yeah, especially if people have questions on that, definitely put that in the chat so we know people are thinking about that, because we'd love to be able to address that too. I mean, we can do a whole follow-up, masterclass on that one for sure. Like there's a whole, like how to build a driving teams, that definitely an interesting one. But yeah, you have a good point. Like you're looking for the highest quality leads out there. Real-time data, real-time driving around is going to give you that. So definitely default to that. I agree. But
I mean, the tech's cool and the option's really cool and it can make you money. But it's like, but you also can go buy lists from PropStream, but I will never tell you to do that because it's not the best way. Does that make sense, guys? Like, it's not that it doesn't work. It's just not the best way.
Yep.
Yep.
Good stuff. So that was week one. Week two, do you want to talk about marketing here, Zach, for a few minutes?
Yeah. So once we build that list, right, we talked about sending postcards. The importance of your postcard is making it sound like it's your one person reaching out to another about their house. So I don't really care the template that you guys use as far as a postcard. What's more important is it says, hey, the owner's name. I'm interested in buying your property at XYZ address, right? The actual address. I'll be interested in buying your house, cash offer, whatever you want to say. You can text or call me back at this number. God bless or thank you and your phone number. So very simple and to the point where it seems like it's just one guy reaching out about buying their house. I have found that the more authentic it is to like just you reaching out to them in particular, not like a mass marketing campaign, not with like super glossy stock, not with this real formal, beautiful looking postcard, you actually get better conversion to where it's almost like you will get better conversions off handwritten letters, for example, than you will with a professional looking postcard, because it comes off as you're just the neighbor guy looking to buy their house. And if they have any interest in selling, you'd be like, what the heck? Who's this that wants to buy my house? How does he know I want to sell it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you're going for, right? That's what you're trying to induce. You're not trying to make them go, wow, this company looks very professional and put together. I'm going to call and work with them, right? You want them to be like, man, I was just thinking about selling. Who wants to buy my house? Right?
Yep.
That would be my suggestion. So reaching out with postcards, we talked about a multiple line dialer, cold callings. You can set that up. That's what I use on the 40-day challenge. Mojosales.com is what I use there. I mentioned call tools. I'm getting a better response rate right now. Texting. We're using batch leads to text our leads right now, bulk texting. But you can also get phone numbers. You can text. You can cold call directly through DealMachine. It's not necessarily bulk. But you can do it through there without having to set up more platforms. But we talked about the importance of reaching out to that list that you're building, right? Our job's to find people that want to sell, and you're not going to do that by driving alone. You have to reach out to see if they want to sell.
Yep. Yeah, like you mentioned, Zach, you can do kind of like the one-off skip tracing in here, in bulk like this by selecting all and being able to go through and hit lead actions and skip trace that way. And then, like you said, we talked about sending mail. So, hitting start mail on here, it'll send a postcard directly to that owner. You'll be able to see what that postcard looks like. You can go in here and go to the mail center and change that up. So you can kind of use this to be able to see like, hey, how many postcards have I sent? How many do I have scheduled? How much is that going to cost? Really manage your mail as efficiently as possible this way. And then change up designs, change up sizes, be able to create, handwritten letters through ballpoint letters right here. So you've got a lot of options inside DealMachine to kind of mix up your marketing and your direct mail strategies right there. So good stuff.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So that was week 2. Again, rewatch the replays. We'll send this out. As long as you go to zackchallenge.com, you'll be on that email list to get all this. But week 3, that was really talking through kind of 2 parts. So the first part was how to follow up with leads to make sure they don't ever slip through the cracks. Zach, can you kind of talk through like what your essential CRM strategy is? How do you stay organized with, when following up with leads?
Yep. Beautiful. So when it comes to CRMs, guys, sorry, I'm dealing with deals myself. I've got multiple deals we're closing on and make sure it gets done. It's been absolutely crazy. Today we couldn't figure out how many land deals we have under contract or for sale. We found out that we've owned a house for like 2 weeks and it wasn't listed. I was like, guys, we can't do that. Oh shit. It's so fun. Anyways, CRMs, right? This is actually kind of exciting stuff. So we just switched over to a new CRM. We've been using a different one. I won't mention who it is. It's just not that great. The CRM that we're using right now is called Go High Level. It's a CRM that I got familiar with my coaching business. And the main reason I wanted to push it to my wholesaling business is because I'm very familiar with the system now and some of the automations and so forth, because it's what I've been using in the coaching business and it has all the automations that I need. But what I suggest to people that are just starting out is you don't need to pay extra money for a CRM, right? I chose to have a CRM, after I got to a point where I couldn't keep track of everything, right? I got behind in follow up and who did I need to call? And it got to the point where I had more leads than I knew what to do with. And the other reason too is when you generate leads and they say, yeah, I want to sell, follow up, or hey, we decided we don't want to sell anymore. And that lead kind of doesn't get a follow-up call scheduled anymore. But if it's in a CRM, it'll live there forever. We just did a text blast to all of our dead leads in our CRM last night. And today we had over 240 responses. And that was the second one that we've sent in 3 weeks. That's like our cold outreach, and now our team is following up with those. It's going to make us a lot of money, our dead database, basically. So with time, you'll eventually want one, but I wouldn't suggest getting one until you've probably done 2 or 3 deals, right? So in the beginning, for you guys, I would highly suggest having some type of a follow-up system to keep track of what you guys talked about, what's the follow-up call supposed to be about, and when. And Google Calendars is a great free option. And then there's also another option within DealMachine itself to keep track of these leads and to have a calendar, so you can use DealMachine, especially in the beginning, to save yourself some money, right? I would rather you spend all your money on marketing and not getting more tech and CRMs and that kind of stuff. Because remember, the goal is to make money, not just spend it, right? So I'm not going to tell you to buy or pay for something. Use my discount code so I can get a commission if it's not really going to be in your best interest.
Yep. Love that, man. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're definitely not. We're not heavy duty like automation, email heavy CRM or anything like that, but we're what you need in terms of being able to just kind of be lightweight, help you kind of follow through with those leads. I showed off adding notes and adding tasks right here. So that way you can add notes as you have conversations with a lead. You can add tasks, and there's a task manager up here. So you can kind of use that to really prioritize what you should be doing next and make sure you don't have a lead ever fall through the cracks. And then you can do a variety of basic things like adjusting the lead status in the pipeline, adding or importing and exporting leads, filtering those leads by priority to be able to know who to focus on first, things like that, to be able to just help you stay organized. So we showed that off again in a deeper dive on the week 3 training last week. The other part of it is we showed off the comps tool here. Zack, I know obviously they should definitely, I highly recommend rewatching last week, because Zack did such a good job of breaking down objections with sellers and how to make an offer and things. Is there anything there that you wanted to recap, with a minute or two here in terms of advice on making offers or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I gave so much freaking value last week. So I highly suggest watching that. I will do this as far as a recap. Remember, the number one rule of thumb is if your negotiation strategy, your script, what you say, how you say it would change, if a family member called you, you're doing it wrong, right? That's your filter. If you can say, the exact same thing, you're on track, right? There's lots of little additional strategies and things that you can and should say. Did you get permission? I was just messing with Miguel here.
Nice. But
did we lose me?
Yeah, you had a little bit of delay on your end. I think it's on your end. Maybe it's my end.
Hey, Miguel, did our internet having issues again?
I can hear you. Hey, guys, throw in the chat if you can hear me,
still hear me, Matt?
or Zack. You're froze on one of them on Webinar Jam, but I can still hear you at least. So at least we have that. But Zack end it appears, so it might be your end that's wigging out here. But at least I can hear you. Put in the chat if you can at least hear Zack, so that way we can keep going. So, all right, Zack jumped out of the Webinar Jam. He'll be right back on, guys. But just as Zack is gone right here, quickly again, I'll show off the comps tool that we sent out a demo video last week, kind of recapping. But whenever you click on a lead, so if I've added a property right here, I can go in, hit the comps button right here. So you've got info, comps, mail, investment activity. Hit comps right there. And then, you'll be able to pop this open and be able to customize your filters. So you can jump on here, say, hey, yeah, show me the comps from, the last 3 months, do plus or minus 15% of square footage of my property, plus or minus 15 years within year built, bedroom, bathroom, range, all that stuff is adjustable. Zack said he's trying to get back in. His computer's giving him issues. So, we'll be able to hopefully have him back here in just a second. I'll keep going so that way you guys, don't miss out on too much on my end. Yell at me in the chat if you can't hear me. So, you can adjust all of that on the go right there. It says mobile friendly or on the desktop, either way. So if you're having a conversation in person with people, or if you're doing it on the desktop, both of them work. And, once you have that all set up, good to go, then let me expand this for you guys. You'll be able to see as I zoom in here, here's my property I'm trying to comp to. And then let me use the drawing tool, and I can actually draw around an area and get really, really specific. So that way, hey, I want to make sure I don't go over any major streets. And when I do that, I finish up the comp here, and it'll real time estimate for me, hey, here's what the estimated value is based on dollar per square footage of these other two comps. And we'll even have MLS photos available for you for many of these properties. So let's see, this one does not have it, but you're able to even compare the MLS listing photos to that particular property you're there for, and say, hey, yeah, this one was worth 148, but your property will need, 50K, 60K to get to that level, right? So it gives you the confidence of using data to be able to really empower you and have what can feel like a scary conversation, especially at first, around that price point, like that offer, right? And help you come to that ARV number and know, like, hey, what is the after repair value of this property, and use that to kind of back up the rest of your math in terms of being able to actually, make a great offer. So Zach did a really good job of breaking that down last week and talking about, hey, here's how much in terms of maximum amount, if you want, X percent wholesale fee, assignment fee there, then, hey, make sure to think about it in this way and do this kind of, math to work backwards from that ARV number to know what you can offer there. So that was all last week as well. Make sure to be able to rewatch those replays here, but wanted to be able to recap that as much as possible for you guys too as we go into this. So this question section, I'll wait for Zach to jump back in here if we can get him here soon to answer those questions. I saw awesome questions. Ken had a ton of great questions. I'm glad I'm clear. Nick and Ken and Jonathan, all that. Cool. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Ken had a couple of really, really good questions here. I love to see, Ken, you said took your advice when driving for dollars and stopped at dumpsters to check out the rehab and met contractors who their owner boss was essentially what you were looking for. Like that is awesome, man. Like I love to hear that was a really, really good tip. Like looking for that dumpster out in the street. That is definitely one that I think is a great indicator of, hey, this is potentially a good lead here too. So they might be in the middle of a move or cleaning out the house. So I will save the other 3 or 4 questions. If you guys want to go in the chat and add a few more questions too, at the worst case scenario, if Zach can't jump on here at the end, I will make sure to email you guys right after this with all the follow-up info, answering your questions. And then, I know we had a few kind of like end takeaways he wanted to share with everybody here. So hopefully we can win him back. But if not, then, hey, appreciate you guys being patient, sticking around for us. So any questions, again, put those in the chat for us. I'll keep following up with those. One other thing I wanted to share, I know we had a couple special bonuses throughout this challenge we've been sharing with you guys. Want to give you one last chance to redeem these too. So if you do try out a 7-day free trial of DealMachine, you get all this stuff that we've been showing off. It's DealMachine.com/pin. That's going to put in promo code PIN. And that'll give you, once you go through the trial, you get $30 in the trial and then another $70 if you become a DealMachine customer to give you $100 free inside the app. So you'll be able to get, that's 600 free skip traces, 150 free postcards. That is a ton of free marketing to be able to run with and, follow through with the list that you have already been building throughout this challenge, as well as moving forward and understanding like, hey, here is the dollars that are going to help fuel all of my marketing to be able to keep going and keep reaching out and actually start to have those conversations with these motivated sellers. So again, Zach did an awesome job providing value throughout these last 3 weeks of how to build that list, how to market to that list, how to follow up with that list and close deals. And so we want to give you guys as much free as possible to be able to execute on that. So that means, free software for 7 days here, free marketing dollars to help you execute on that, help you follow up with those sellers. If you do want to use DealMachine beyond those 7 days and you're like, hey, yeah, this is something I'm going to stick with. I see the value in, I see as a valuable tool beyond just a couple months. And follow through with consistency like Zack has been talking about. I mean, that's been the theme throughout this whole challenge is consistently taking action. If you're ready to do that, definitely go through this link. This is going to be way more value than going through our website. This is going to be almost 50% off. It's going to be $990 for almost $1,900 worth of value there. So you'll get all of DealMachine Pro for a year. That, if you're going to hire drivers, that is the best one to go with, if you're building a huge driving team. We do have a Teams account. That's good. That one's like $299 a month. If you're going to build a whole, driving army in your neighborhood or in your city. Let's see, Zach here. So trying to restart. So he's still working on it. No worries. So if you're building a whole driving for dollars army, yeah, you can go with our Teams plan. If not, DealMachine Pro is going to have a ton of value there for you because you get access to drivers, you get access to all the driving for dollars, the virtual driving for dollars stuff, up to 50,000 leads inside DealMachine. All of the map features like the highlights we showed off. There's a planned route mode you get, the mail center, the CRM, the comps, the MLS data. We have MLS data for every single state, including non-disclosure states, and that's sole data too. So if you're in a Texas or one of the Carolinas or anything, like you're getting everything regardless of where you're at. So that's all inside DealMachine Pro. List Builder, that is a great kind of secondary option that, like Zach said, you can also land deals using that too. It's for pulling lists. It's what I actually really, really find value in. I think Zach might agree with this. Is List Builder is fantastic for pulling a list of leads and then using that to also drive it. So we've seen people have a ton of value. If you're going to actually take action and do the door knocking and go in there and door knock, leave door hangers, do an in-person touch point, List Builder plus driving for dollars is super powerful for that because you can go out there, you can pull a list of leads and say like, hey, yeah, show me high equity properties that fit XYZ, fit all kinds of, thousands of data points that you can pull down into. And you could just market to those owners, but it's going to take you way more marketing. As Zach said before, they're not as high quality of leads. What I highly recommend is then if you're on DealMachine Pro, you can hit drive this list and it'll give you turn-by-turn navigation to every single lead on that list. And that way, if you're going to door knock it, you'll be able to go as quickly as humanly possible and say, yeah, I'm going to leave door hangers. I'm going to door knock this particular list in this particular, route, and have you yourself or a driver that you hire go do that. And those two things together have been super, super powerful. So, that comes with this as well. That's all in there, free essentially with this plan. And then you get $100 in free marketing too on top of that. So all that together, over an entire year would normally cost $1,876. This will be $990. So if you're going to actually commit for more than a few months and you're like, yes, I'm going to stick with this, I see this as an extremely valuable tool to be implemented, go through this deal. And that's going to be much, much better than going through our site. So make sure to bookmark that link. And I'll leave this up here too. So Zach, welcome back, man. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can. I had to restart my computer. I got to take it in and get it fixed.
Okay. Hey, we got through all the kind of the wrap up, links here just to remind people the bonuses. We're about to get into the giveaway, but do you want to answer a few questions here first? Because I know we had 3 or 4 in the chat that were really, really good.
Yeah, I remember seeing someone say, "I can't wait to get on this wall." Why are you waiting? That's the other question that was how I'd answer that. Like, why are we waiting to have me coach you?
There we go. Yeah. Do you want, if people want to get in touch with you, and we can wrap up with that too, but if people want to get in touch with you as well, what's the best way to do that too on the coaching front?
Shoot me a DM on any social media platform if you want to, but if you want to talk to us about me coaching you, getting my cell phone, helping you through your deals and so forth, getting on this wall, you can book a call at drivingfordollarsmastery.com/DealMachine call. Matt, if you could put that in the chats. But yeah, let's answer some questions and add some value with this last 10 minutes that I have here before I got to jump off.
Perfect. And I put matt@dealmachine.com as my email. So feel free to reach out to me direct. If you want an intro to Zach, I'm happy to leave you guys in too, if that's easy. But all right, a couple quick questions. We'll go rapid fire here. Devin said, do you wholesale bank owned?
No. Normally if it says bank owned, it's the process and the core processes are at that point, they're going to try and auction it, and you'll be able to see those auctioned properties. If you go to auction.com, the county courthouse is where they do the auctions. And they'll say, what properties and what's the dates of those auctions. If you go to auction.com, you can see those schedules in your area. You can put your county and it'll pull up whatever auctions they have in that county. So I don't mess with them. And if they don't sell at the auctions, usually they have a brokerage that they push those listings to and they list them. So normally, no.
There we go. Jeff Nate asks, what states are you closing those 2 big deals from Driving for Dollars? Just curious.
Yeah, both of them actually here in Utah. Yep. So we're not doing direct to seller for we were doing it. We're opening it back up actually this week in Florida. We shut it down for a short time. We're doing land in Florida, but I fully expect to make just as much, if not more, money in Florida over the next year or two. So it's going to be a big push of ours. But yeah, most of my wholesaling is done in Utah right
now. Ken asked, hey Matt, when you set up those filters, so the highlight filter, will it populate as you enter a neighborhood? Yes. If you have any issues with that, then just hit there's like a little refresh button right there too inside the app. So those highlights will follow you as you do that. So
I love your question around the work that you're doing, right? Like hiccups that you have, like that's such a good sign to me. That's the number one thing that I see, guys, just so you have an idea. So I probably shouldn't say this because this might just de-incentivize people to ask questions. But I have found that many times students in the beginning, they ask a lot of hypothetical questions. Things like, what happens if this happens, right? And what it is they're building up all these limiting beliefs, fears, and stresses that will actually keep them taking action because they feel like they have to have all the potential answers to all the potential questions, right? Before they really start taking action. What's more important is you start taking action, and then those questions then arise from doing the work, right? Progress, not perfection, failing forward. It's been said a million different ways, but that's so very important that you stay focused on the task at hand, the goals at hand, for sure.
Great stuff. Jonathan said, any suggestions on the best caller ID to use when using the Momo seller dialer?
Mojosales.com.
I was like Mojo, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get phone numbers. So with mojosales.com, guys, you got to upload like a phone number that you're calling from. And that phone number needs to be switched out often, actually, at least once a week. Because what will happen is when you start dialing, right, is spam dialing, multiple line dialer. A lot of the times the number that you already buy to use this or the number that you start using, it will start getting marked as spam likely. So if you guys have ever had like a call come in and your phone says, the phone carrier says spam likely when you have a call coming in, or it says call stopped, it shows that the carrier actually blocked a call from coming through. So what will happen is that'll happen when you're cold calling. So you'll get a lot lower response rate, right? You want to be talking to anywhere between 4 and 10 people every single hour of dialing with a triple line dialer or more. So if you're using Call Tools or Mojo, that's the filter. And so you got to switch out your phone numbers as a major one. So you can use 2 different companies to buy phone numbers. We're using callfire.com. It's one I've used for years to get phone numbers for tracking phone numbers for sending postcards or getting phone numbers for mojosales.com. We've been having issues recently with them, and so have our newer students. There might be a better platform. It's called callrail.com to get those tracking phone numbers that you can use in mojosales.com. So great question, by the way.
He followed up with saying his personal name or business name to get most answers.
I like personal name. I like going, hey, I'm just a guy trying to buy your house. Who is this? Oh, it's Zach. I'm just trying to buy your house. Are you interested in selling? What company are you with? Oh, I'm just a local investor. It doesn't sound like you want to sell your house. Do you not want to sell your house? Right? It's just so much easier. It's just you trying to help people trying to buy houses.
Yeah, authentic. Yeah, there you go. And Ken, last one, you said the difference between entry level DealMachine and middle. So it really, I mean, it's entry level really is meant more for the true starter who is not going to add anyone on the account, is only going to do a certain number of leads. You have a much lower lead limit. The middle, the pro is the best bang for your buck in terms of pricing within DealMachine. It's being able to add drivers to your account, have way more leads, have things like the drive this list feature, have things like the highlights button on the map. So you only unlock a certain number of things on pro. So I definitely like if you're just kind of dipping your toe in the water and aren't really investing long term in any kind of tool, then starter can help you out that way. But I think for sure if you're taking it serious, pro is going to be the best bang for your buck for within our pricing. So hopefully that helps you out, man. Let's see here. It looks like we had. Oh, Tony said, unfortunately, something happened. I couldn't get in. Sorry, I missed this, guys. Tony, we're gonna send out the replay here in just a minute. Right after I'm gonna be sending this out for you guys. So make sure to rewatch that. And we had a couple tech issues today. It's all right. we're figuring it out, guys. So you were just in time for the giveaway here. So Zach, any other last things here? I know I don't want to run too far over on you, man.
Just this, like remember when I was like, hey, like this is like these are time stamped, right? Like these are just coming in. Abe just said got another cash buyer for an offer on one of his deals, and a pretty good lead. Chris just sent over an audio for an appointment he had. Plus, Chris has got his first property under contract. Tucker then also sent me a text. This is just why we've been on this call, where they've got a deal on the line. They had some more questions they need me to go through. So, this stuff works, guys. Like if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to stay consistent, it works. And I want you guys to understand that. And if you guys get results from this, I want to know about it. I want to have you on my podcast. I want to be able to share your success with the world and inspire other people. Because what happens? Why do I want that? It's not because I want to puff out my chest and say, look at how good of a coach I am and, blah, blah, blah. I mean, obviously that's important to me because I want to make a difference in more lives. And if people have success from what I do and you talk about it, that allows me to bless more lives. That is important. But the main thing, the most important reason why is because if you're successful and you share your story and you share your background and what you had to do and the struggles that you went through, and your story will inspire and give permission to other people, right? And will allow them to take a chance on themselves, because people might look at me and where I'm at in my journey now and be like, Zach's doing multiple deals and he has employees and he has a team and, and plus he's selling a course, he's full of crap, right? Which I don't blame them. They should be skeptical, but for you guys to share that, it'll inspire others. And that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to make a difference in as many lives as possible. So if you have results, if you have success, right, stay in touch with me. Let me know. I want to know. And then also if you guys have any curiosity or want to learn more and potentially work with me, as me as your coach and you as my student, it would be an honor. Matt just dropped that link, dftmastery.com/DealMachine call. You can book a time on our calendar and we'd be happy to talk to you about it and see if it's a fit. But that's mainly it. So thanks for joining us on this challenge, guys. I really appreciate having all of you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I wanted to make sure, and you called out that link earlier, so I found it for you guys there. So wanted to share that here. Zach, do you have a hard jump here in a minute? We can do the giveaway real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So again, we've been talking about this the whole time. $1,850 grand prize live giveaway. Again, you got to be on live to get this. So we got to make sure we'll jump in the chat and make sure we have people, that the winner is on here. If I call out a name and they're not on here, then we'll go on to the next one. So make sure to jump in the chat, get excited, get involved. If you are the one that gets called out here, our winner, how we're going to pick this too is I asked you guys over email, essentially like, hey, how is real estate going to be changing your life? And how is this challenge contributed to that? How is this challenge being able to help you down that path? We're going to randomly select. I have all of the email replies up in a spreadsheet right here. I have a random number selector right here on the screen for me here too. So I'm going to randomly select, through that and call out and read their message and call out, the people in order. So, our winner today throughout this whole thing, they're going to get 1 year DealMachine Pro. which again, this is the plan to have. Like, this is what is going to get you that the driving for dollars, team. It's going to get you, up to 3 people total, all those leads, all those features, everything we just went over in the year-long package we just talked about. 1 year DealMachine list builder on top of that. Again, I mentioned like how powerful this thing is, especially if you're going to door knock it or you're going to leave door hangers or do anything in person. Being able to pull a list and then drive that list and be able to find those distressed properties that way and door knock those, like that is an awesome feature that's going to be in there for you guys for a year for free. And then on top of all that, again, you're going to get $100 free skip traces and postcards. So all of that together free. That would normally be over $1,850. That's going to be given out tonight. So the winner for this, I'm going to pull all this up here, Zach. Give me 1 second here for you guys. Got a good handful of people that replied here. So let me go through and hit the random selector. Again, got to be on live to win this. So I think they're on here. They just put in the chat earlier. Is Tony Clark on here still? Tony Clark.
I sure hope he's still here if he was in here earlier.
I saw you put in here earlier. So let's see if he's Tony. Are you still on here?
Dude, I hope he stayed because he commented. Unfortunately, something happened. I couldn't get in. Sorry, I missed this guy. Hopefully, he didn't jump out. Dude, I feel so bad.
Oh, there he is. Yes, he's still on.
Tony!
Congratulations, Tony. There you go. Tony and Tanya, there we go. Congratulations, man. You get, again, all of that for free. It's going to be an entire year worth of DealMachine Pro. All of there he goes. I'm here. He's perfect.
He's like, I'm here.
Love it. Entire year DealMachine Pro, all of List Builder, all the marketing credits, all that stuff. Let me quickly read his message here. So it says, hi, my name is Tony Clark. I've known about wholesaling for about 2 years now. My first year, I did nothing but learn. And after that, I started to take action and brought my fiance along with me, showing her and teaching her everything I taught myself so we could build a successful business in wholesaling. We aren't the most financially set people. We've had many setbacks time and again. Most of the time, we aren't even able to pay for DealMachine, but nothing stops us to get out there, drive for dollars, and find that sweet deal. With us doing it all on our own, it's been a struggle to figure out all the steps in between to take once a contract's signed, which is as far as we've gotten besides some JV deals with other investors. Then one day I found Zack on YouTube while doing some research, and he's helped me more through my phone than anyone has in person. I can attest to that too. Zack gives out an incredible amount of just help for everybody here. I've tried to get in on the program, but like I've said, we're not financially set right now to get in and work with Zack, so I put that on hold. Next thing you know, I've come across this challenge. It's exactly what we needed to help us through these steps. What made it even better was that it's free, and we couldn't thank you guys enough for putting the time in to give us the info to close a deal. We're finally, after almost 3 years, so close to closing, and because of this challenge, we give better offers, talk to people easily, and have gotten some connections with our local title companies, as well as other investors and cash buyers. We came to the challenge on week 2, but we went back, watched it all, and took action. Awesome job, catching up and doing the homework, guys. We love and respect you guys for everything you're doing, and we hope to be in your shoes one day. See you in the live. Tony. There we go.
What a cool message, Tony. I'm so glad he won. What a good dude.
That is awesome.
That's awesome. That's
Love
cool. Thank you, Tony.
Tony, we're going to hook you up after this, man. So I will I'll loop in our support team. We'll make sure to get you all that free stuff. And like I said, now you're obligated to go get those deals. You have everything you need. You be able to whenever you reinvest in yourself, make sure to reach out to Zack. He is phenomenal to help you go start to take that and scale your business. And he's done it himself. He's still doing it right now. So, Tony, appreciate you too, man. That's, I'm glad you've been investing in yourself on these. So
when you get that deal closed, Tony, let me know. I want to have you on my podcast and hear all about it.
Yep. There we go. Nothing will stop us now. I love that. Great job in the chat. All right. Last thing I want to leave you with, again, you may have completed the homework. You may have gotten a deal. You may not have. And again, like Tony, like he said, he missed the first week. He jumped in late. People are still catching up here. It's a challenge for a reason, regardless of how much action you took. We celebrate you for starting to take that action. And, from here on out, we want you to build momentum, and that's going to snowball. So Zack, I know you mentioned, how you help people. Can you maybe wrap us up here in terms of how people can go from here? What advice you give them for that?
Yeah, guys. I mean, you can take action. You can figure it out. Progress, not perfection. I believe in that. But I also believe in speeding up the process with a coach. I really do. I'm not just saying that because I am a coach.
I will tell you this over and over. If you think I'm saying that, it means you don't trust me. If you think I'm saying that because I'm just trying to get you to sign up for my program, it means you don't trust me. I'm not connecting with you. You don't see the authenticity in me. So that means take my advice, but go with a different coach, because you need to trust your coach. You need to know and understand and believe that he has your best interest at heart. And if you don't feel like I do, you need to find a different one. But I totally believe the fastest way and the most efficient way to have success is to have someone that's been there, done it, knows the steps, and is willing to support you throughout the process. So that would be my suggestion, right? And some of you may have obstacles that's keeping you from investing into that coach. And take the approach like this. Don't say I can't because. Don't say I can't because I can't afford it. I can't because I don't have time. I can't because I have kids. I can't because I'm a single mom. I can't tell you how many people that have said I can't because, and I have students out on that success wall that said it differently. They said I have to because I'm a single mom and a sole provider. I have to find a way. And they start saying, how can I? Because I'm a single mom, instead of saying I can't because I'm a single mom. There's nothing more condemning to people's progress in life than saying I can't because. You immediately become a victim. You completely lose 100% control over the success that you will have in your life because you are choosing to not be able to do anything about it. When you start to ask yourself, how can I because, instead of I can't because, your creativity, your resourcefulness will come out. You are intelligent, wonderful human beings that want to have success. And I know that for a fact because you're here, right? And so go out there, be resourceful, find a way, find a coach that you trust, right? Obviously, you guys have a ton of value from this. You can take action, you can have success. But I really, really know and understand that having someone like me to be able to text and call, and I have a deal on the line, I have a lead, how do I get it closed? I promise you, a good coach will pay for himself 1,000 times over in the first 12 months, right? And so just keep that in mind. And there's a lot of bad coaches. So there's this, I'm going to say this for the last thing, and I got to go. First, you like and trust that person, right? They're authentic. You really understand and believe they have your best interest at heart. Next, are they doing the business themselves, right? Are they really doing what they're teaching, or are they just teaching shit in theory to try and make money off you, right? Because, or that they used to do it in the past, now they just do coaching, right? They're not testing and doing and making sure 100% what they're doing is just their own core processes, right? So that's a huge one. And third, are their students getting results, right? Are they actually helping people across that finish line? It's one thing to be, and I know a lot of guys, I'm not going to name drop and kick anyone in the pants. They make a ton of money doing wholesaling themselves and they're coaches, but they don't give a crap. They sell a ton of information and their programs are not set up to move people to a success wall, right? I don't care if they don't have a success wall, but I'm saying, like, if they're really not consistently getting results and moving people along, the problem is most coaching programs, they're set up to give you a ton of information. They overwhelm you, and you're just as confused as listening to podcasts and YouTube channels and not step-by-step instruction of what to do and how to do it in the right orders with a support system when you get stuck, right? So be very careful that you pick a program that's going to move you along and not just overwhelm you. So that is like ultimately my suggestion. The reason that I did this, the reason I work with DealMachine, it's because it's tech that I'm using, that I'm making money off of. They're an incredible company. Matt, thank you so much for helping me put all this together and spending your time as well. I do appreciate you.
Of course, man. This has been a blast. I love to see people. I mean, this is what we do it for. Ken, just in the chat, as you were talking, said, just got one of my 2 offers accepted while we were on the call. So he's from this challenge. There we go. Got that first deal done right there. So that's what we do this for. We love to give away as much value as possible. And that's, why we're in business, is we want to make you guys, we're a tool to help you guys no matter what. Like, it's up to you guys to run with it. We can't do it for you. It's about to take the knowledge you're learning from Zack, take the support you're learning from Zack. If he's coaching you as well directly, like, even better. And then, use a tool to help you become more efficient, more effective, and better at this. So Zack, appreciate you too, man. This has been a great last couple of weeks. So
appreciate you.
Again, Zack, I know you got to run. Consider me a resource, Matt at DealMachine.com. Zack, you can jump off. We're about to head out here. Thank you, guys. Tony, I am going to follow up with you directly. Make sure you're all hooked up with our support team. again, congrats to you. Congrats to Ken on doing that deal. That is phenomenal. We'll send out the replay to everybody tomorrow, or maybe tonight, depends on what we can get done today. To send this out ASAP, and then hey, happy deal finding, guys. Go find that first deal, go find that next deal, and please consider me a resource. Reach out to me when you do. We've had hundreds of people on our YouTube channel that we've interviewed that have done deals using DealMachine. We want you to be the next one. So if you're up for doing that, please do that with me. And no problem, Tony. Congrats again, everybody, and good luck moving forward. Thanks, guys.